Hello and good evening. My name is Jeremiah Shavern. I'm a multimedia journalist with The Telegram. I am broadcasting live here in downtown Jackson, Ohio, where the Jackson 4th of July parade is making its way up Broadway Street. This parade is a part of the Jackson Freedom Fest, and we are just waiting for it to make its way up Broadway here. It will travel up Broadway, make a right on Main Street, and head down to Manpower Park in Jackson. Now the parade has stepped off at 8 o'clock, and it is slowly making its way here to the intersection of Broadway and Pearl, where I am stationed along the parade route this evening. Appreciate you tuning in this evening, and the live stream is being brought to you by The Telegram. Be sure to share this video out with your friends and family. I know I got a lot of folks on here that like to watch from other states that used to live here in Jackson County at one point in time, and now they live elsewhere, and they like to tune in and watch these hometown parades, which is what we're having this evening. So coming into the intersection now, you have the Jackson Police Department leading the parade. And following behind them, you have the Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts of America. This looks like Troop 48. Making their way through. And behind them, there's Phil Lightfoot with the Hocking County Fallen Heroes display that he likes to bring to these festivals. And behind him, you have Jackson Mayor Randy Evans and his wife Marlena making their way through the parade this evening. There they are. Here he goes. And behind them we have a unit from the Jackson Fire Department. This is engine 1409. So we can zoom out a little bit here so you can see the truck in its entirety making its way through the intersection. And coming in the intersection now, you have your Jackson Apple Festival royalty. The Jackson Apple Festival is held the third full week in September, and you have Queen Taylor Williams, first attendant Emma Wiggins, and second attendant Sophie Williams. They were crowned back Easter weekend, making their way through the parade this evening. And behind them, we have a rescue unit from the Jackson Fire Department, or no, Wilson Fire Department, excuse me, making their way through there. Jackson has a truck that's very similar. And coming up next, you have the Jackson Apple Festival Little Queen, Emma Dunn. She was crowned on Saturday of this past year's Jackson Apple Festival. And on the float with her are the finalists from the top 10 finalists from this year. making their way through. And behind them is from Wellston, the Ohio Hill Country Festival that is held the Wednesday through Saturday following Labor Day. And you can see Queen Brian Denny, first attendant Kate Wilbur, and second attendant Olivia Taylor making their way through the parade this evening. And behind them we have a unit from the Jackson County EMS, a unit from the Ohio State Highway Patrol, and behind them we have a unit from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. I do believe this is a therapy dog that has joined the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. New to the force. And coming up next we have, this is I do believe Herds of Hope making their way through the parade this evening. They have a number of royalty that represent. And behind them is Liberty Township Volunteer Fire Department. This is Engine 1502 making its way through the intersection. Getting ready to make their way into the intersection is Show Dolls, as a baton corps based here in Jackson, Ohio. The girls are sporting red, white, and blue this evening as they twirl their way through the intersection. And coming in the intersection is another fire engine from the Jackson Fire Department. This is engine 1407. And coming up next, we have a float from the Jackson County Fair. Believe it or not, the Jackson County Fair kicks off July 11th and will run through July 19th. And I know that because I just got done writing a preview story all about the fair. You can look for that next week, Wednesday's edition. And you can see this is your 2024 court making their way through the parade this evening. And not getting away from little mister there. He's just holding his hand still. But it's Queen Natalie Allison there along with her court. Coming up next, you have the Eclipse Baton Group, another baton corps here from Jackson, Ohio, twirling their way into the intersection. Alright, coming in this intersection now, Jackson Fire Department. This is 1406. This is their ladder truck. And coming in the intersection is Liberty Township Volunteer Fire Department. This is 1517. This is one of their rescue trucks that they take out. See the little guy with the American flag there, making his way through the intersection. Coming up next in the intersection, we've got representation from Angles Garage. This is their major accident response unit. They are pulling through the intersection here. And after that, we got some more units from Angles here. See this large commercial unit along with a hauling. This is one of those flatbed rollbacks, I think is what they call it. Angles Garage. And then behind them you have one of the big wreckers. They use this a lot on the commercial units. But that's Angles Garage and Wrecker Service. 740-577-3636. And directly behind them, you have the Jackson Fire Department. This is engine 1408. And behind them, you have engine 1506. This is Liberty Township Volunteer Fire Department. See you later. Making their way through the intersection. They may be their newest unit. I know I did a story on it last year. They debuted a new unit out there at Liberty Township. That may be it. And I see Marty. It's the Appalachia Old Car Club making their way into the intersection here. It's Coyote's Ride making his way through. He's giving us a wave. That's the Appalachia Old Car Club being represented in the parade this evening. So we'll take a look at these classic cars. Oh, there's the Smallies making their way through. It's always a neat car to see in these parades. So don't forget, this parade was organized by the Jackson Firefighters Association with help from the Jackson Rec Department this year. We're also involved in this. And don't forget, there's a slew of things happening down at Manpower Park here in Jackson this evening. You got all kinds of vendors set up down there. I'm not sure how long they're set up this evening. I think through firework time this evening. And then after that, fireworks will be about 10 o'clock this evening. I believe there was like activities and stuff happening down there earlier. Could be some more stuff happening down there this evening as well. There's different people involved in that. I know Apple Tots was doing some things. The Fate and Fitness, they were doing some stuff earlier. And just a slew of vendors down there this evening, a part of his first Thursday. Check out this unit from Bloomfield Fire and Rescue. This is Rescue 1102. Very neat fire truck here from Bloomfield. Not sure I've ever seen this one before. It's got like a American flag wrapped around the truck here. That's really neat. Don't know if this is a newer engine or an older engine that they've gotten rehabbed or what. And behind them, another unit from Bloomfield. This is 1101 Rescue, making their way through. And behind them, we got representation from Ron's Towing. That's 740-286-1642. So you can see him with a tow truck there, making their way through the intersection. Also have a larger unit here, Kentworth Build from Ron's, also making their way through the intersection here. I can see See some folks riding shotgun. And we got some royalty coming in the intersection in the back of this pickup truck here. This is your Southern Ohio Sweethearts 2025 making their way through the intersection. There's a bunch of local representation that is a part of that, making their way through this evening. And behind them, we got some folks in ATVs. A bunch of them sporting American flags, decorated for the 4th of July. Very good. And we got a unit from, this is High Road Towing and Recovery. Lots of records represented this evening in this parade. Another unit from High Road. See them making their way through. We got a larger unit here. And those commercial, I like to call them commercial units from High Road making their way through this evening. Little girl riding shotgun there. And got somebody sneaking through the intersection here. I got somebody on a bike. Got a couple other vehicles here riding through. Twisted Tea, hard iced tea car coming through. Check it out. Another fire truck here. This is the Madison Jefferson Fire Department Engine 1. Making its way through the intersection. And behind them, another unit from Bloomfield Volunteer Fire Department. This is engine 1117 making their way through. Got a little guy riding shotgun here as they make their way through the 4th of July parade. There he goes. Got some more folks on golf carts that are decorated up for the holiday. There we go, red, white, and blue. Look at this big old unit from the Madison Jefferson Fire Department. Look at this, Tanker 7 making its way through. It's a big unit. And we're almost to the end of the parade here in the city of Jackson. Coming down the home stretch here with a few more fire department units. I got one here. This is the from Colton Volunteer Fire Department making their way through. Got a couple little tykes waving at the camera as they roll by. That's unit 1207. Got another nice unit here from the village of Colton making their way through. 1204. It's a fairly large unit too. Not sure if I've seen that one before either. We got another response type vehicle here from Colton making their way through. That is 1201 in the village of Colton, and I can see the fire chief in there. That's Andrew Kincaid. He gave a wave as he went by. And bringing up the rear here, Jackson Fire Department. This is a brush truck 1416 making its way here at the end to wrap up the rear of this year's 2025 Freedom Fest parade here in downtown Jackson. So hope you guys enjoyed the parade here in downtown Jackson. Tune back in here in a little bit. Let's see, it's 8:20. Parades are supposed to be off 10 o'clock. I always say 9:45, 10 o'clock, be looking for them. I think they're saying 10 o'clock for the parade tonight. So be sure, or the parade, the fireworks. Gosh, I've covered two parades back to back and got me saying parade. So fireworks in the city of Jackson about 10 o'clock tonight. They're always shot from Eddie Jones Park. A lot of people watch them from Manpower Park, but you can see them from other parts in the city. And that'll be your fireworks tonight. Don't forget, on July 4th, the Village of Oak Hill, the Oak Hill Athletic Boosters will do their fireworks 10 o'clock on the 4th down in Oak Hill. Tonight's show, $11,000 show tonight. Jackson Firefighters Association are the ones that raise the funds for that. Oak Hill Athletic Boosters, $13,000 show down in Oak Hill on the 4th. And then on Saturday, you have the Celebration of our Nation, Wellston Hilco Society, and it is a $15,500 show is what I'm being told, and that will be 10 o'clock on Saturday, July 5th, and then up the road in MacArthur, they will also be doing a fireworks show, but I'm not exactly sure how much was spent on it, but I think it's also at 10 o'clock on the 5th. So that is a rundown of fireworks. Watch for Jackson's later, and we'll sign off. Reporting for The Telegram on theteleGramNews.com, I'm Jeremiah Shaver.